It is extremely likely nobody will see this, but it's 4 a.m. and I need to get this out of my head. So for context, my wife and I have been married about 3 years now. We have had the normal amount of ups and downs a relationship goes through, but ultimately had a lot of good communication going into marriage. We were about 9 months into marriage when COVID first hit. And this is where issues started coming into play. I found out a lot of my friends were not good friends and were terrible to me. We left our church and left a lot of those friends behind. Escaping this dysfunctional atmosphere was not easy, and like most people, I started dealing with extreme depression and anxiety. On top of that, I was diagnosed with ADHD. My wife told me she didn't want kids after previously telling me she did before we married. Both of us thought we wanted them. And I eventually decided it didn't matter to me as long as I had her because I loved her so much. Because of the bad mental state I was in, she claimed that she had to do a lot of the heavy lifting in our relationship, and at the time, I believed her and agreed to go to couples counseling and personal counseling. So I started my path down getting better and healthy. And so did she, I had thought. I felt we were getting somewhere, but as I started to learn more about myself and who I really was, I began to notice that she was continually pulling away. She has had a traumatic upbringing, and I have always been right beside her, helping her navigate it. Since she is fiercely independent, she usually needed time alone to think. So I'd let her have nights to herself to chill at home, and I just play some video games. She communicated she wanted me to engage more, and I attempted to do so, offering up impromptu dates, which she kept pushing back, not really feeling like it. She wanted more emotional convos that were deeper, so I made a point to ask her about things and really try to engage with her, and she never would talk to me. Whenever I would state something I had just learned or was excited about, she would be acting as if she already knew and not be getting excited with me. She started getting really obsessed with making sure our dog was taken care of, and so if something came up like me being sick and we were not able to walk her twice a day, she'd be mad at me. I would clean up the house after her. I would pay our bills. I would do dishes. I worked a job I hated so she could have the freedoms to do things she's wanted. If you were noticing a pattern, so was I. She has said all she has done, but in comparison to my effort, hers is hardly noticeable. So then she comes home today and is acting weird. I ask her what's up, and she sits me down and tells me she cheated on me. Then she says she wants a divorce and that we are just two different people. These differences she mentions are that she wants to go to do more things with life and travel. We discussed that. Or move to another country. Discussed that too, and I was for it mostly. So to me, her reasons do not line up at all. And she is acting as if I have outright denied them. She doesn't have a case and seems to be taking this easy way out according to my sister. So what should I do? I love her deeply and I know she's hurting. But quite frankly, my heart is broken and I'm at a loss. I want her, but I also am extremely hurt and angry at her. I will gladly own up to my mistakes, but it seems she will not accept for her saying that cheating was 100% not okay. Edit. I just wanted to thank everyone for the honest responses. We have decided to take a couple days separated and come back together to talk on Wednesday. The people who need to know have mostly been told and have been supportive of me. As for the thing about the dog, I do take care of her and walk and play with her multiple times daily. The message I meant to communicate was that my wife would be extremely upset with me if life happened, and we were not able to hold our dog to a constant schedule. I could have planned to take my wife out, and if I hadn't taken the dog out on a walk immediately after my shift, I got off work at a slightly later shift, she would clearly think I was lazy and didn't care. So I had no time to decompress or even eat. If I'm wrong here, I'm okay with that, but to me the dog seemed more important than me. Also, while harsh to hear, I would agree that I have been guilty of being a doormat. I'm trying to figure out how I can be kind to her while also standing up for myself and calling out a lot of this crap. Edit 2. I've seen a lot of stuff addressing our age gap. I'll be honest as I can. Yes, I do. Now, believe the church we left was heavily involved in pushing us too hard to hop into a relationship and get married. It is messed up, and her and I have talked a lot about how we were essentially set up for failure. They weren't in favor of helping us prep for marriage. Their goal was just to get people and us married. So people would listen to them. If this sounds cultish, trust me when I say we realized that too. And it's been a long year of undoing. There was always something at the back of my mind worried about our age difference, and I ignored it. So if part of this truly is an age thing, I am willing to examine my mistakes there and see how I could have been wrong in my approach. It is no excuse at all, but many men I knew had been convinced they were useless if they were not married. Typing this out makes me sick to my stomach about how messed up that is for all parties.